Hello, everyone. Welcome to the sixth live stream on the Free Humans World channel, where I not only talk about how blockchain and AI are shaping the future of Web3, but also where I use these advanced technologies to develop a
Live stream
gamified.
on the Free Humans
One
World
second.
channel, where I not only talk about how blockchain and AI are shaping.
All right, so just making sure that the live stream works because I had some issues in the past. So I use these technologies to develop a gamified Web3 social network with user-driven value distribution. For this live stream, we have a special guest. It's a guest from Generation Z, and it's my little sister, Diana Apetrei, and she's running a bit late, but hopefully she will be joining us soon. Meanwhile, I'm gonna show you a little bit around the front end of the social network that I'm developing. For those of you who have not seen it yet, all right. One second, let me share my screen. All right, so there we go. I'm having a little issue here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is the first page, the home page. It's a work in progress. There's a video here, a 1 minute video of me explaining what this is, the whole dApp, the decentralized application, and this is running on localhost. But you can actually, if you go to freehumans.world, where the mainnet will be launched when it will be ready, you can already join the waiting list. And here you will be able to access this link if you want to check out the development in real time. I push updates here now and then for the testnet that will be launched when it's ready. The same video here, 1 minute video. You can also check the Lite paper. And if you want to join the waiting list, you just have to enable this Google form here. You will see a button or something, or straight the form. And you have like just your email, this information to provide, and then you have 38 questions. And these are not hard questions. It's just questions about the current state of social media. How do you feel about it, and what we can do better? I mean, I'm trying to get as much information as possible from as many people as possible, so that we have some valuable feedback for us to implement in this social network. So from the beginning, from day one, when we are developing the network, I'm the only engineer working on it so far, but there are other people working on the project for other things. And so this is basically a waiting list. And when the testnet will be launched, you will get an email, so you can be one of the first people to learn about the testnet launch. We already have 201 people that joined the waiting list. And it's, for me, it's important because this is basically an open source democracy. It's decentralization. It's a way for basically for us to decide from day one collectively where this or all of this is heading. How do we develop it? How do we fix all the issues that we currently have with Web 2? And so we're doing this from day one and after the launch, of course. All right, so Diana is going to be late a little bit, 10 to 15 minutes. And I keep hearing a WhatsApp sound that I want to stop so bad. So just 1 second. There we go. I think I stopped it on the other PC. All right, so this is the domain, right? This is the freehumans.world domain. This is going to be the official domain. For now, it's only a waiting list, but when it will be launched, the interface will look something like this, right? This is dark mode. I like dark mode, dark theme, because it's easier on the eyes, especially at night, and consumes less power. So if you log in, let's say I log in, right, with the username, test username, it will take you to the profile page, right? And basically here, the local host is when I for the first time when I left it a little bit since yesterday. I think it's because of the database. The first time it loads a little bit slow, but if we go back, it should load fast enough. Try again. Yeah, faster. Okay, so you can see here you can change there are a couple of options that will be available to change the layout theme from dark to light, enable disable sounds. So you will be able to see. Let me put it on white for now. You will be able to see a bunch of stats here. These all of this, the stats and the post, the content here is just for now it's mock data. It is my post, but it's just mock data for now because it's in the development application, the development stage where I basically develop locally on my PC, on my laptop, and then when everything is finished and it runs okay in here, when I finish the backend, right, connect every piece of the interface with the database and the functionality in the backend, then this will be ready for testnet launch. And you will be able to create a blockchain account, to authenticate, to create NFTs, to create to post. Of course, it's a social media, so to post basically basic posts like video, image, sound, text. Like I can even sort, right? If I click this is for sorting. So this is available here on the profile page, also on the timeline. And timeline for this social network is like the newsfeed on Facebook. It makes more sense. It's like a collective timeline of all the people that you are following, your connections, basically, right? And the ones that you are following. And so under every post you saw, there is like a different type of buttons. We will go more into that when Diana will join. And you can see people, you can search for people, you can search here anywhere you are. It will be like a context aware search. So you will be able to search for, if you are selected people, if you have selected people, you will be able to search for people. If you have selected something else, or the type of content, you will search for that. And if you go to the markets, you will see something like this. You will see the NFTs market and the regular market. The NFTs market, of course, will be different types like pages, right? So on this social network, a page that you can make is an NFT that you own, and you can sell it, you can keep it, as long as you have ownership of that NFT. If you have it in your blockchain account, you can manage that page. And you have avatars, covers, you have animations, sounds, or scripts. And this can be games or useful stuff. Uh, you will be able to create them really simply. Just upload in a box, in a dialog box, and send it, right? Or you can eventually, when you have enough tokens, and we will list the token to have an equivalent price to other currencies like fiat currencies. Or even before that, you will be able to list the basic stuff like on eBay, right? Vehicles, real estate, jobs, electronics, right? There's a lot of stuff here, technology, right? You can post basically anything that you can post on other classified ads websites, classified. type of posts where people sell stuff or give them away for free. And you can click and see more details. You can. This is your inventory because it's gamified, right? You have an inventory. You can expand that inventory if you get more bags like this. You can use the item, equip them or not, and you can sell them from here in the market. You have notifications like on any other social media platform or app, and you have the menu here, right? I go back to the profile, and there's a bunch of buttons here. This is for transfer. So whenever you access a profile for a user, you can transfer tokens. So it acts like a wallet as well. The whole app acts also as a wallet because you will be able to transfer tokens to the user you are accessing, right? You are visiting. Follow on follow, right? If you haven't connected to the user, you can click the plus button and you are connected, right? Or you can disconnect from the user. Of course, the user on his end will have to accept the connection. Otherwise, it's just a half connection. And by default, you will follow that person, but you can unfollow or disconnect. You can block the person if he's bothering you or she's bothering you. You will have chat here, of course, like in any other social media app. And all the important features of social media are available and will be available once the backend work is complete on this DApp. But there are some very very fundamental things that are different in this DApp, and we will go more into details once we have Diana here. This is your balance. We will basically you will have a balance, not just a username, right? Not just an avatar like you have. If I go to Facebook, for example, I show you my Facebook. I have my avatar here. I have my notifications here, right? And I have basically the chat, right? I have the chat here. A bunch of different options here. Facebook has a lot of stuff that for most people they don't really use them, but you start small and then you build what the users actually want and actually need, not what Facebook thinks is good for exploiting the user, right? And the menu here is very very crowded. It's people are basically not necessarily millennials or older, but Gen Z or younger are looking for alternatives. They're not basically making Facebook accounts anymore, right? I'm gonna go and shut the window because I'm hearing the kids outside. And meanwhile, we are waiting for Diana to join. So, one second. Okay, so we're just waiting for Diana to join. So let's see. I'm gonna close Facebook and I'm gonna go to the profile here. And meanwhile, we can basically go to some other stuff that we can see. Uh, One of the important things that I keep talking about on this live stream is the tokenomics, right? And you may have seen in previous live streams the simulations that I had to create because I couldn't find any useful tools to predict or model the evolution of tokenomics over time in a network of users, or the evolution of value store, value transfer, right? And so I had to create something like this. And here you will see some circles that represent the users with symbolic value in them. The value doesn't have to be in dollars or any other currency. It's just a symbolic value, a number, and they keep appearing. The circles on the screen, they join the network basically, and then they start interacting with one another. And it depends on how the parameters, how the business model is created for each of these networks, that the evolution will also be the evolution of the network, of the users, of the interaction will also depend on that, right? So the rules of the game, the parameters, and then how the users actually engage with each other uh, is the thing here. So in the Web 2 example of simulation, I can show you the Web 2 simulation. Let's say we have four social media platforms, right? We create them here. It doesn't matter the value that they start with. Also, users, let's say from 1 to 12. Again, symbolic value, and we limit the users to 1,000 because for this language, JavaScript, and using Canvas, the way I created the simulation is not going to work for a very big number, but the simulation it will basically reveal the evolution just the same, even for a small number of users. We don't have to have millions or billions of users. And so let's see. We can start, I think, the simulation, and what you will see is those red circles. That keep moving faster than anything else is basically the four social media networks, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, the classical, traditional Web2 advertising companies that their main business model, their main revenue comes from Web2 advertising, right? So basically, spying on people, giving them like those targeted keywords and everything, a targeting system, and allowing them to target the users, right? But they're getting all the money from the advertisers, and they're not giving anything in return. This is how Web2 behaved since the year 2000, since it started. And in the year 2004, I think Facebook started dominating the social media space, and Facebook became the internet. It was the biggest player. Just like before Web2, before the year 2000, Yahoo was the biggest company that dominated everything, right? Before social media. All right, so you will be able to see eventually these circles get bigger and bigger. They give nothing in return, and I didn't program the simulation to act in this way, to move like that. Everything you see here is based on very simple parameters, a range of randomness, basically allowing the cells to select a target. For example, one of the red circles, and it applies to all of them, but one of the red circles will choose a target, an advertiser, right? A user that is advertising his content for his page or personal profile. And what happens is when the Web2 advertising system finds a bunch of users that might be interested in the keywords and location and all the targeting details that he carefully selected in the campaign manager, he will basically take some of the budget and show the ad to those users, right? And so the system decides if I show, and of course you can imagine there's competition for these keywords. So the people, the big companies that pay the biggest fee for the ads, right, for that specific keyword that you're also looking to advertise for, they get the best users. They get the most users. They get the best quality users. They get the users that are most likely to buy or click the ad, right? So it's an elite game. It's very expensive to advertise. Uh, Today, the latest platform that got over a billion users, TikTok, which is not a universal social media platform, it's just a short form video content, right? Platform or app. They have the cheapest advertising conversion rate, right? So it's 20 times more expensive to advertise on Facebook, maybe more than 20 times, than compared to TikTok. It's 60 times more expensive to advertise on YouTube compared to TikTok. So all these old web platforms, Web 2 platforms, the conversion rate is very, very bad today. One of the reasons is because of the saturation of all type of content topics, keywords. Everyone is posting about everything nowadays. So in the beginning, if you were a user in Facebook or Twitter or whatever, you didn't have to fight for your audience. You had all. If you would make videos about smartphones, the latest smartphones, the reviews, you would have all the audience, right? Everyone would come to you to watch that type of content. And basically, uh, okay, so Diana joined. Hi, Diana. I cannot hear you. Maybe you want to change the microphone or something.
Hi, can
Hi, can you? So while you fix the audio, try to select the settings in there.
can you hear me
Can you hear
now?
me now? Let's see. So I was just finishing up the point that the conversion rate is really bad, and there's a couple of reasons why. You can see the circles, like I said, they're getting bigger and bigger. So they're cleaning up the whole slate, taking all the money from all the users. I, all right. So are you able to? Are you able to change the microphone from the settings of the
Can
in
you?
the browser?
Hey,
Hey. Maybe it's the headset is not connected. Oh, maybe it's me. Wait. I think it was me. Can you? I can hear you now.
you can hear
You can
me?
hear me? Yes, it was
Okay.
me. Okay. My bad. I'm still getting the hang of this software for restreaming, which I think it's not that great, but
No
no it's
worries.
free. So all right.
Hi,
Hi
everyone.
everyone. Hi. So let me introduce you a little bit, and then I'm sure you have a lot of questions to ask that we can answer together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just this was the let me refresh the page. This was the Web 2 simulation. Um, so, like I said, we have a special guest for this live stream, Diana Apetrei, my little sister. She is from Generation Z. She is 24 years old. She finished social science university in the UK. She studied the relationship between humans, in society, all the cool stuff, cool studies, cool facts, cool things about how humans interact within different situations in society, in groups, and she observed this and studied this both in the UK, in Romania, in other places, and she's like let's say the main audience for this type of DApp, decentralized application, because Generation Z and younger are people that are born in a time where these technologies were made public or available and into mainstream, right? And so uh, Generation Z and younger were born with blockchain, crypto, crypto apps. Uh, the idea of decentralization, the government is not doing its job. It's everyone is the money is not worth anything, no intrinsic value, right? Fiat. It's very hard to. We are during a crisis or recession. Maybe it's not obvious for everyone. A lot to talk about, right? Um, so let's see. If you want to say something about yourself, like we
Yeah.
did last time when the the live stream didn't get recorded because it was
Yeah.
the 1st of April. So
That
the
was a
universe,
funny one.
yeah,
The
we had a
universe was pranking you.
we had a very good 1 hour and a half live stream, and it didn't get recorded because April Fools, I guess. I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
first of
first of
all,
all,
um, yeah, I
yeah, I
think
think
Lucian
Lucian
was
was
right.
right.
I
I
am
am
part of
part
the
of the
generation that was born with, let's say, born with the tablet or with the computer in my hand, in
Hmm.
our hands, we had it all. And so I'm not saying I'm into technology that much or that I'm genius in tech or anything. I was never really interested in technology, to be honest, but I was just born with it. And because of that, I think we had, a different perspective, a different kind of way in which we see the world, us, uh,
Hmm.
people from Generation Z.
Yeah.
And that's why this is one of the reasons, actually, why most of us, we prefer to work for ourselves. We prefer to be our own boss, and we don't want to work for, um, you know, different companies that will actually enslave you and put you through the process of what we call modern slavery. Because we like to put accent on that, because Generation Z is actually the first generation that put an end to this, because we didn't want to accept it anymore. We didn't want to accept the capitalism, and because we didn't
Surveillance capitalism.
yeah, we didn't actually talk about that last time. And
Yeah, we didn't get to.
yeah, we didn't get to it, but I hope we will get to it today, because it's an important thing. And so I think this is it's going to be a very interesting stream, because the platform that you, with the help of other people, have created, it's going to be a revolutionary one, in my opinion, because it's the kind of thing that we, or I personally, was looking for
Hmm.
in a platform. Because if you look at, all the other things that, all these things that we're going to talk about
Hmm.
a bit later, like Facebook and, all these platforms, you don't get anything from using them. So
Yeah, they
I,
get.
yeah, so I'm going to try to understand, with your help, how this is working. And I'm going to try to ask you as many questions as possible to
Hmm.
find out as much information as I can, because you know that I was always curious to know about your work and about what's happening in the world. That's why I chose sociology, actually, because it made me have a different perspective of the world. It made
Hmm.
me see the world with different eyes.
Hmm. Okay, so we can go through the questions that we went through last time. And I just want to say that for now, I am the only engineer working on the project and developing everything, absolutely, not just the code, the white paper, the website, the communication, the marketing strategy, the business plan, everything. And I would love to have other people which are professionals joining this effort, because it's an open source effort. So everything we do is transparent. Like I did in the previous live streams, I would show exactly the code. So behind closed doors, right? There's no closed doors in open source. It's just so I would love for people to join the effort. For now, I'm the only one working on it, but live streams like this, with your help and with feedback from people that we're gathering through the forum, they can go, like I showed previously, in the to sign up in the waiting list on freehumans.world, and they can contribute even if they don't know anything about coding, or they're not like active in a domain that is connected to what we're doing here. But they can just answer 38 questions, and then they submit the form and they have joined the waiting list, because we, from the beginning, from day one, I said, before you joined the live stream, we are asking for questions. How do you feel about social media? How can it be better, right? Would this be better? Would you like this? Would you like that, right? We gather a lot of feedback, and together, even from day one, not just after we launched the application, we take the opinion of the people and try to get as much value from that, so that we can co-create it, right. So if you have questions, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions, but I'm just gonna start with a few. So just give me 1 second. Sorry. So, I actually wanted to ask you this the last time. This was supposed to be the first question, to be honest. Because we want to explain this to an audience that has no idea about what's going on, and also to people that have an idea about this and that want to know more. So, what is Free Humans World?
Hmm. All right, straight off with the best question. uh,
Yeah,
so I try to communicate this from the first thing when I opened the live stream.
yeah, the first
And
live stream.
yeah, every live stream. And also, if you go on Free Humans World on the waiting list, you will see here this explanation, right? And this
Okay,
is a decentralized, gamified Web3 social network, right? Web3, because we are during the period called Web3, where users constantly distribute 100% of the value generated by the network among each other. So compared to Facebook, Twitter, any other Web2 platform, where they make billions and billions of dollars in profit from their users, right? Advertisers mainly. But without the regular users, they wouldn't be able. So the value is in the bulk of the users. So compared to that situation, everything that is generated, that is invested after the network is launched by people, not they don't give it to us. They just basically they might have from the initial distribution, and we can talk about that, a bunch of tokens, or they receive tokens for free on sign up. And so whenever they engage, they share, or they receive likes, they get some tokens, right? So every important or basic interaction for a social media app will bring you some tokens for free, right? So instead of losing time being exploited like a sheep, like a chicken, like a product, right, for your milk or for your eggs, basically you earn value, but not from us, because the value was never in the company that created the application, the interface, right? Facebook is not creating billions out of thin air. They're taking billions from users, right?
right,
So in this network, everything that is put, whether it's time, whether it's content, whether it's a conversion from fiat, dollars, euros, whatever, pounds, into gratitude token, and circulating that token in the network, everything will be uniformly distributed over time in the network. So the network keeps the value invested by users, whether it's time, content, creativity, right? Whether it's other type of currency, stays in the network. It's not siphoned outside of the network of users to share between Mark Zuckerberg and his friends, or whatever, Elon Musk, which I love Elon Musk, but it's the same business model, right? Traditional Web2 advertising. So that's the key explanation. The one liner is very simple. You go to the development website, gamified Web3 network with human driven value distribution. So we don't use algorithms, even for recommendations. For example, for like Facebook uses, or YouTube, when you click a video, it learns that you like that type of content and it shows you more of that, right? Keeping you in a what is called an echo chamber, right? Which is really bad. It never exposes you to a to the diversity of content that is out there. You keep getting the same type of content, right? Okay, I get this for music, for Spotify, for example. I may like a certain type of music, and the algorithm learns. But for video information that is supposed to help me in some way or entertain me, I would like a more diverse approach, right? It's not even that. It's basically Do we take the value from users, billions and billions of dollars, of euros, whatever, and just never give anything back? Do we do that, or we can do the other thing today with this technology, with blockchain, with AI, and give back everything and find other more ways, fairer ways to get some of that value back, just a little bit, right?
Right. Okay. Okay. So that's Free Humans World,
Hmm.
and that's how you find out information about it, and then we can.
Yeah, and here I ran this earlier. This is the simulation for Web 2, and you can see those red circles are basically, let's say, Facebook, Twitter, and two other Web2 platforms. And what they do is they get bigger and bigger over time, and all the white circles with random values in them, it doesn't have to be a currency, it's just a value, a symbol of a value compared to all the other users. These are basically, let's say, advertisers, or they can represent also regular users, because without them the advertisers would not be advertising in the platform, right? So what happens is they basically, on these platforms there's a ad targeting system that always looks for whatever keywords and criteria you selected in there to show your ads to specific types of users in specific places, countries, by language, by age, by right. And so whenever the algorithm, the system of advertising of these companies finds a match, they will see, okay, this is the best match, most likely to buy or click the ad for this keyword. But it's not going to show it for you, because you compete with other companies that are competing for the same keyword. So a big company that has a big budget of millions of dollars will always get the best clicks, the best users, the people that will buy from them, right? And you get the worst. As a small time advertiser, you get really bad results. Like, I compare this with TikTok, right? Because TikTok, you know about TikTok, it's a newer platform, but it's specialized. It's a niche for short form video content. It's not also for text content, images, other things, right? So they are the cheapest right now. They have over a billion users, and they are the cheapest. Like, it's 1 cent or 2 cents to get a follower, for example, on TikTok, even without perfecting your campaign. And it's 20 times or more expensive on Facebook. It's 60 times more on YouTube. It's a very big difference for conversion, right? For percentage, like how much of your budget when you spend it on advertising actually is useful. How many of them actually bought, clicked, So it's really, really bad today because they are saturated, and Facebook, and sorry, especially Facebook, they
Yeah.
allow ads to be clicked by bots. So there's so many bots, fake accounts. There's so many scammers. I click report all the time. Nothing happens. They say, "Oh no, we didn't do anything about them." So obvious scams, like they use these deep fake videos, like, for example, in every country, I think. But I can tell right away in Romania, for example, when I see a video of Muguri Sărescu, the governor of the National Bank of Romania, have created this tool to make you rich, or Elon Musk has launched this AI tool to make you rich. They didn't do that. Obviously, it's a scam. And I click reporting, then nothing happens. So they censor us, they manipulate us, they keep us in echo chambers, and they allow us to get scammed. They allow fake accounts.
Yeah.
This is a
Multiple
really,
accounts.
yeah, this is a really bad problem. So you see, they get bigger and bigger. They take all the value, and the other users don't get much in return, right? They just keep trying a new campaign, a new campaign. They keep showing up. Anyway, so that's Web 2.
So
Web
that's
3,
why this is different.
this is different indeed, because this is what we want to do. This is the business model. After many simulations, many attempts to try to find a basic algorithm, basic parameters of how do you actually transfer value in a network, and how do you make it sustainable, right? How do you make the people want to stay because they get so much value compared to all the other uh, business models, or the way that value circulates in a network, right? You should at least get something back. Like, you have Patreon, you have Kick, this streaming new streaming platform. You get 95% of everything they earn as a streamer or as a content creator. You get 95%. They only keep 5%. That's much better, right?
That's
youtube
good. Yeah. I heard
YouTube
it.
gives
I
you
heard
like
of that.
40% or something like that. They need to catch up, because uh, they have still the old infrastructure, centralized data centers. They're expensive. They are really expensive. They require a lot of people to manage older systems, support system, everything. We can do better nowadays with AI and advanced blockchain, right? So like this, you see this like a unified sphere, a living cell. All those circles, which are users, you see they exchange value between each other whenever they have a line selecting another users. And this is all random. I didn't program them to act in this way. Like I only started, you saw in the beginning, they keep
Yeah,
appearing on the screen. And the reason why they get closer and closer is because whenever they select another users to either share some value with that user or gain some value from that user, it gets a little bit closer, right? Because it interacted, now it's closer. So and whenever they either share or gain value, both of them still win something. It's not I'm losing value. I'm spending value, for example, boosting a post, but I'm getting more followers, right? I'm liking a post, I'm sharing value, giving value to that post. Let's go into that, into the UI. Maybe you have more questions about that.
yeah.
So in the UI, right, we have this. What would you like to know about how this works? Like we talked about.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I have a question about this. Yeah, that was the next question actually. So we're here. Yeah, how can we add value to Free
Mhm.
Humans World, and how do we gain value?
So basically, you're asking how do people invest or add value, and then how do they take it out, right? Because everyone's looking for some
Exactly.
profit or earning something, right?
All this
And
process and how
yeah,
are the rewards working and everything. It's
mhm,
actually
mhm.
more questions.
More
Uh,
questions, yeah.
you know,
Yeah. So I'm
we
gonna launch the simulation again and let it run in the background actually, because I'm gonna come back to it.
It's like five questions in one,
Yeah,
and
let's
you're
unpack
gonna
that
have to
first.
answer it all.
It's a question bomb.
Yeah.
Let's see. So first, I want to say that in this type of network, you will see eventually when the simulation gets to the unified sphere again, like it should be the web, right? The idea of a web had that wireframe global system made from wireframes, like the meridians, right? There's an icon that represents the web, right? World Wide Web. But
Yeah.
it never turned out to be like that. It's a bunch of hierarchies, pyramid, controlling everything, dominating everything, right? And so in Web3, we have the opportunity to actually create that unified sphere, right? And how do we do it? Like the first thing that you have to understand in this network is that we're not going to ask for people to invest like any other crypto project, invest money in the beginning, buy our token. And we're not doing that. So what we're doing, we issued 12 billion gratitude tokens. This will be the main currency in this network. The ticker, the symbol for that in the market will be GRAT. And what do we do with these tokens? I'm going to show you. We have a in the business plan here. It's a Web3 business plan, not a Web2 business plan, not a Web1 business plan.
A
It's a
Web three.
Web3. Yeah. So let's see. Control 0 maybe. It's a little bit zoomed out. Interesting.
Let
Reset.
me guess. Page 16.
15, actually. Close enough.
15.
All right. Let's go to it. So
I
here,
just guessed.
okay. It starts from this, right? So we issued 12 billion tokens, and we're gonna distribute everything for free. But the first initial distribution will go like this. There's a strategy behind it because we want people to be actually interested in this platform because it will give them so much value. We don't take the value from the users. We just share it. The network, whatever the network earns, right, will be shared with the users. Will be most of it will be shared. So this is what happens in the we will start with 100 users, you, me, our friends, right? Anyone else that is joining the waiting list will have an opportunity to be for testnet and for mainnet one of the first 100 users. Now these 100 users, when the initial distribution will start, they will get 100,000 tokens. gratitude tokens. This is the most, right? In day zero. Day one, the condition for them to get these tokens when they create their account within the network, right, is that they invite two other real human beings, unique human beings, right? And you cannot trick the system like on Facebook, make a fake account or use bots or software to make multiple accounts, because we use artificial intelligence to create a 3D face map. So we use something you are, your face, not something you have to remember like a password or something like that, to identify you as a unique user, unique human being. And that account will forever be associated with your face, right? And so when you create an account, we know that if you try to create another account, you go through the same process with your face. So the AI system will say, no, you already have an account. This is your account, right? And so this is important because we want people to help us basically just invite two other people basically in 24 hours, right? They have 24 hours when they get to be the first year. They have 24 hours to invite two other people. Just, that's it. Two other friends of theirs, family, whatever, strangers. It doesn't matter. And the second wave, these two other people will get half of what the original 100 get. And it keeps getting split into half, just like mining. When the process of mining, um, from now and then, the reward for the miners is split into half, and it adapts to the increase in the number of miners, right? But this doesn't use mining. We use a blockchain that uses delegated proof of stake, right? So it keeps doubling here. Like on day two, these 200 users recruit two more users. It goes to 400, but they get less reward, and it's exponential, right? Because you come in later, you get less reward. But this is not it doesn't matter if you are the first or you are the last here. Day 24, 800 million users get only 5 tokens, because once you are in the network, you will start earning, right, from different mechanisms that we can talk about, like to give and share to earn, right? And the idea here is that the strategy is crazy enough to, if it works, the math should work, and it has been used in other contexts, other marketing strategies, other projects before, not crypto, but and not at this scale, but it should work in theory. So in theory, if everything is set up correctly and we set up the right people, the first 100 people, which are the most important for this to work, in 24 days we can get 1.67 billion users, right, registered, and we will distribute from the 12 billion tokens almost 11, like 10.6 billion tokens, and the rest will be used to be distributed continuously for every new user that signs up. We will give them 5 tokens, and you can also earn by inviting. Again, you invite one, you get a few tokens. You invite one other, you get. So
So
we have that.
just 1 second. So this is theoretically, but practically, this will, in what I observed from this, is that practically it will 100% it will work if those two people
Hmm.
that were invited by the first two people will sign up for an account
Hmm.
and will use the account.
Yes.
And
Otherwise, word.
yeah, otherwise it won't work. So if, let's say, I'm just giving an example, I'm one of the first two people that came in, yeah, and then I invite two more of my friends. Those two friends that I invited, it like is it so it's like it's kind of mandatory for them to sign up so that they receive that reward. If they don't sign up like I did, I won't receive the reward, they don't receive the reward.
Yeah, it
So it,
pushes
yeah, so
into the future.
it only works by reciprocating
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah. If you don't, like I said, the first 100 users, they have to invite two other users to get the
Yeah.
reward. So from the beginning, you have you have 100 plus 200, you have 300 users from the beginning, right? So let's go back to the first. the first day zero for 100, they get 100K, but they only get this if they recruit these 200. So
Successfully.
yeah, so each of these 100 have to recruit two. That's 200. So this is extra 200. So it's 300 total from day one, right? And we distributed 100K for each of these 100. We distributed 50K for each of these 200. And as these 200 also have to recruit two more, right? So now we have 400 more that received this much. Now we have 800 more users that received this much. It continues until we get to day 24. So if everyone recruits the two users, right? And that's it. It's only once to get the initial distribution. If you are lucky to be among the first day one, two, three, four, five, right? You get a lot of tokens compared to the other ones. But again, the sustainable tokenomics model here is brilliant in its simplicity, because even though, and we can talk about how the token will be circulating in this network, right? This is tied to that. So even though we distribute it's, let's say it looks like an uneven distribution, but the thing here is that we're using hierarchy against itself, right? Because what happens is, we some people call this hype, right? But it's not hype in the sense that most projects that create hype for the purpose of selling their tokens or their NFTs to investors. We're not selling anything here.
And then people don't get anything in return.
They might, the first ones might get an exit and get some money, but the last ones always lose, right? So they have to pay for the first ones that ran with the money, right? So it's a Ponzi. Most
It's a
other
Ponzi
projects, it's a
scheme.
Ponzi scheme. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not a Ponzi scheme because you don't have to pay anything. You get it for free just for signing up.
Yes, and the beauty of this project is stands in its utility because it's
The
based
utility. Let's
on
get to that.
utility.
Let's get to that. So let's get to, and here you can see, right? I wanted to just mention one other thing in here, and then I'm going to close this. You can see some circles getting a little bit bigger than others, right? So there's an opportunity in the network, even though like we start with users, let's say, even if we don't have the initial distribution and we just run the campaign of whenever you sign up, you get 5 tokens. Whenever you invite someone, a referral, right, you get 5 tokens for that. So you invite 10 friends, you get 50 tokens, right? So there's an opportunity. It doesn't matter how you distribute the tokens with the initial distribution or the after distribution, uh, for different users to get more value from the network. You can see that the circle is getting bigger. But overall, there's no gap like we have the concept of the wealth gap, the global wealth gap, which over 10 years ago, it was 1% of humanity owned 99% of all created human wealth, right? Wealth is money, assets, different things, right?
You should paint it again to explain.
So basically, what we have here is, uh, today, more than 10 years after that situation, like I kept talking for 10 years almost, there's a colossal vertical wealth transfer that is going on from the old generation, from boomers, from old people that created their wealth back then, to millennials. And then we pass the wealth back, down to Generation Z, to you, right? And to younger people. And so we millennials will be the generation with the most millionaires, right? The most amount of millionaires, like number of millionaires. And so that's basically down to 1% today. 1% of humanity owns 50% of all global wealth, right? And it keeps getting less and less. Like the wealth gap is being reduced because of these new business models, because of new solutions that we have, new technology, right? And in this network, we don't have that problem because you don't see a circle bigger than all of the network combined, right? One of them
Right.
gets so big that it goes off the screen, right? It doesn't happen like that. And we're going to talk about how it actually happens in here, right? And it has to do with this. All right. So what we have here, how do we actually put money in the network? How does it come out? And how does it circulate? we unpacked some of your other questions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's start with, what do we start with? Let's say, how do you put money into the network? Okay, so
Yeah.
first, it's the initial distribution, and then so we distribute the tokens so that everyone has tokens. That in that step, in that initial phase, there is no associated value with any other currency. Like you see in crypto, Bitcoin is associated with the dollar, or any other currency associated with the dollar or euro or GBP, right? We will not have that from the beginning, because why? We want users to use the application to play around with it, right? And then once we have enough users, right, we create an exchange in the application, in the platform itself, with other we create the price versus dollar versus euro in the application, or we list on a decentralized exchange. So you go to that exchange, you authenticate with your same with your with the application itself, or with another wallet, or you just import your private key in there, and you can start buying and selling gratitude tokens, right? So the price will be decided by the market at that point, but that will not happen when we launch, in the beginning, when we launch the application. It will happen later when we have enough users.
Okay,
Why?
so the exchange will happen
Yeah,
later,
yeah.
later
So
on.
you will be able to, in that point, the tokens that you received for free, the tokens that you earned from other people, and we will show you how, right, in a moment, you will be able to sell on the exchange, right?
That's
And the
great.
market will decide the price, the demand and supply, right? But how do we make sure that people actually use the token for something useful, and not just go and sell everything on the market? Because if they do that, the price will crash, right? And there will be a race to get some value from that. The price will crash, the price will go up again, the price will crash. It will be very unstable, like any other cryptocurrency. So in order for us to mitigate some of that, we have to make sure that people have reasons to spend the tokens, real reasons that they get benefits from, right? And this is, let's start with these two buttons. These are the most important buttons. You see this on Instagram, any other social media app.
Gratitude.
It's the like button, right? And so we have the share to earn button and the like button, right? And whenever you click the like button, what happens is, I didn't enable a sound, but you will
Do
see
it.
basically.
I love those buttons.
No, it's okay. So I guess I can enable a sound. Let's see. I have to I have to share again. Stop sharing.
I think it's a really interactive
So I can go to the profile and enable sounds here. By default, it's not enabled, but there are some sounds. Like, for example, when you click here, right, messages, and also if I go to the timeline, you wanted to hear this sound, right? When I
Yeah,
click
yeah.
and the one for sharing,
Nice.
now these sounds, including, will be able to be created as NFTs by the users. Any user will be able to create a sound for any part of the interface. So he can personalize his own interface with different sounds and animations. All right. So let's explain this. Let's
Yeah, yeah.
explain this button. This button is like to give, what you see here. This number is not number of likes. This is actually a number of tokens. And then this is made up from, exactly as you saw, I clicked, I added 1.59 tokens to this user's account instantly, just like that, in 1 second, because this blockchain is really fast. And so whenever he gets 5,000 tokens, that's tokens which have real value. It's not a number of likes for vanity, like I have 5k likes, look at me, I'm so cool, right? I'm famous, right? You can't do anything with that number. It's not real. It doesn't have any value, right? But if you have an instant transfer from your main balance over here, and it looks the same on mobile, right? The interface, right? Almost the same. You can see, you can select images, for example, right? If I click like, I gave this user a little bit of tokens. If I click share, if the user has allocated some tokens for boosting his post, right? You will see it here, and this gets smaller. So I take some of this value because why? Because I have a couple of followers, and the algorithm calculates, okay, so you have this amount of followers, this is how active they are, you get this amount from the budget of this post. So this is how you earn straight when you share a post. It shows up in your profile, right? And also in the timeline. Here are the shared posts, right? And also in the timeline, if you follow someone that shared the post, of course, you will see the post, right? So
Okay.
you earned by sharing posts, distributing the content, and you also earn by receiving likes. These are the two main ways that you can earn tokens in the network. You will be able to earn in different ways. Like for example, if you go to the market and you create an NFT, right? You will be able to create an NFT, whether it's an image, a sound, a little game, right? And you will be able to add it in the marketplace, right? Check out different details for each NFT, right? Change the way you see the NFTs. You can also not just NFTs. You have regular classified ads like on eBay, right? You have vehicles, real estate, electronics, whatever, all the categories, right? So you can buy a car or sell a car or a mobile device or something with the gratitude token, right? Or you can basically whenever, and this is like this is maybe in the market we find ways to get some commission from that, to get some of the tokens back so that we reinvest it in the project. All right, because we need tokens circulating back and forth between the app and the users, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
because
what
what
would
would
happen
happen
if
if
the
the
tokens,
tokens,
let's
let's
say,
say,
if
if
the
the
number
all
of
of
tokens
tokens
will
will
be,
be
um, no, I
now I
didn't
get a
question
question,
right.
right?
Sorry.
Sorry.
So
So
what
what
happens
happens
if the
if the
tokens
tokens
finish?
finish?
If
If
there'll
there'll
be
be
no
no
tokens
tokens
left?
left? You mean like when the distribution is complete?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
when the distribution
distribution
is
is distribution is
completely over,
complete.
what happens?
All right. So when the distribution is complete, what happens is, uh, oh, I keep hearing some sound from you. You're touching the mic or something. All right. So when the distribution is complete, all the 12 billion tokens will be in the hands of the users, in the hands of people, right? So most of them, right? Some of them will be in the treasury of the app, right? It will be in the smart contracts that are needed to control these flow of tokens, right? In a safe way and in a fair way, right? So again, you will have your balance right here, right, which is yours in your blockchain account. Nobody can access it but you. Nobody can do anything with it but you. And you will be able to access your crypto keys in here, your private key. And in here, this is the inventory because it's a gamified app where you have your NFTs that you own, right? You can see them here. You're going to see what the details, and you can sell them in the market, right? Or auction them when we finish the auction. And this is your inventory, like in a game. You have everything here that you need to be engaged in a social media network that is gamified, right? You don't necessarily have to use the gamified part, to create NFTs, buy NFTs. You can just use the regular part, which is posting content, just liking, sharing content, commenting, right? You get to this.
We live in a world.
So you can comment on the post, you can curate, you can report the post, right? That's what you can do on any other social media. So you will be able to do that here as well. Did I answer
Yeah,
your question with the
this
distribution?
is so cool because you can also get rewarded for
Rewarded
your
for your
content
content
and for
and
the
for the
time that
time
you
that you
spend there.
spend there,
Because
because
usually
usually
I
I
spend
spend
hours
hours
on
on
Facebook, on
Facebook, on
Instagram, on
Instagram, on
TikTok,
TikTok,
on
on
Reels, especially for
especially for
Reels.
Reels. Mm-hmm.
Reels
Reels
take
take
most of
most
my
of my
time.
time.
So
So
if I
if I
could do
could do
that
that
here with
here with
just
just
post
post content,
content and then gain something with that, so that would be amazing for me. It's just the type of platform that I was looking for years, but I didn't even know that I was looking for this because I was just being manipulated by all these other social platforms that kept me busy meanwhile.
It wasn't available. So now people are trying. I'm guessing I'm not the only one trying to do this, probably, but I seem to be the only one executing on it, and I want to be first mover in this space because other people have tried to do social media networks, but they didn't think of all the little pieces that come together, and the scalability of the marketing strategy, right? To get this to the users, to the market, to create awareness. And I'm not I the beauty of this strategy that we use for the initial distribution is that I don't have to spend $1 for marketing. The users will do all the marketing for us, and the only thing they have to pay is with their email and two other friends of theirs to sign up to create an account, and we reward them for that because they're first to support the network, to join the network, right?
Okay. So let's talk a bit about this and about decentralization because it kind
Mm-hmm.
of connects to this. But before I ask you this question, I want to know if there is a way in which people can see the business plan or the description of the way in which the tokens will be distributed so that they can understand better how it's going to be
Well, I
done,
think the first
the
thing
whole process.
all right, so I think the first thing that they should do is join the waiting list here, right?
Okay,
Enable the
yeah.
form, go to the form, enable it, and answer the questions, and join the waiting list because then they can
As
get an
yeah.
email when we launch testnet, when we launch mainnet, to be to have a shot at being one of the first 100 users to get most of the reward, right? And so it will happen for testnet, it will happen for mainnet. You can have a shot at being one of the first 100 users, and then you can access, of course, the website that this is a development website. Whenever we finish a new feature or something, we publish, we upload the new version, right? And also you can access the light paper here. If you click this git light paper, you will be able to see the concept explained for a level of understanding that works even for a 9 to 12-year old or a 12 to 18-year old, or you can go to advanced intellectual if you are an intellectual, right? And the explanation is very very advanced here, right? But here everyone can understand this one, right? Look at the description, like a
That's
cool new
great.
online world. What is it? Imagine a fun online place where everyone can share things like pictures or stories and get rewarded for it. This place is called freehumans.world, and it's a game where you can earn special points called gratitude tokens by being creative and sharing cool stuff. Any kid can understand this, right? So, and there's more here in the light paper. This is also a work in progress, but this version is good enough for the stage where we are in development. This is where they can click from freehumans.world, this link here, and it takes them to the white paper. Also, if you want to, let's say, you asked about basically about decentralization. I think that was your other question,
Yeah,
right?
so let me get to that part. So because we talked about the other platforms like Facebook and everything. So because it connects with what I'm gonna say. So first of all, what is decentralized and how is this platform different to other platforms
Hmm.
from this point of view? Because you said earlier in our earlier live stream that there are there are no apps or maybe just a few apps that are fully decentralized.
Hmm.
So what means to be fully decentralized as a platform? And
Hmm. Okay.
yeah,
So
basically that's the question.
so what it means to be a decentralized application, to have that? Well, first of all, it's imagine the application itself is just a piece of software, right? Like uh, like we have it currently in Web 2. most applications which are centralized because they're Web 2, that's why they're Web 2 or Web 1, they run on a single server or a few servers in a data center somewhere, right? So even if it's a cloud system, they don't run very a big number of copies for the content, for the databases, for the software itself. Now, this is not secure. Like they have access to everything, your personal data, your content. So anyone with bad intentions can get access to that. Hackers can exploit those systems. Even big companies, they all have problems where hackers always steal the client's information, the user's information, everything. They're not safe, right? Because today we have advanced methods of hacking, right? Especially quantum computers can break encryption in seconds using Shor's algorithm. So when quantum computers will be made available, more easily accessible, this is going to be a huge problem because most websites, the infrastructure catches up really slowly, and so they can really harm these Web 2 companies. If someone wants to harm them, they can use a quantum computer and attack and steal all their data, everything. They can access everything, and so that's a big security issue. Like the way this is centralized, old stuff, right? Old way of keeping information in one place. Even banks use it like one database somewhere, right? Hackers always, banks are one of the most outdated technologies out there. Like they use even for storing or transferring value, they use technology that is around 40 years old, and it's like it's written in an old language called COBOL, which nobody knows anymore, and they don't know how to upgrade it, to fix it. To It's just going to crash. It's just going to fail. There's no way of saving it, right? And governments and banks should really pay more attention to this. And even if they don't do it open and decentralized completely and transparently, they should use blockchain technology. But I'm not trying to help banks here. I'm trying to help people, humans, right? So my explanation for decentralization. What is decentralization? It's basically let me go to that. We have a good slide here that we can use. I used it before, and it's in my drive, one of our pitches right here. Okay, I'm gonna go full screen on this. And first of all, we didn't talk about what Web 3 is, right? The period of we talked about it a little bit actually. Like Web 1 during Yahoo, only
You
websites
can
and web
talk about it
directories.
now because it connects to,
So only web directories, websites. You would just visit them and read them, and that's it. You couldn't engage with them. Then in Web 2, after the year 2000, with social media and other platforms, you could also upload content to that website, right? And today we are realizing that okay, so they allowed us to publish content, but in the terms and conditions, they own everything. Like we don't own our content, we don't own our personal data. They can sell our emails and our content, and
yeah,
what the hell is going on, right?
yeah,
People
they own
are
it.
so after 20 years, we started reading the terms and conditions, like that bad, right? So nobody read the terms and
After we've
conditions, right?
signed it and they sold it to hundreds of thousands of third parties.
Yeah, all the scandal with Cambridge Analytica, and today they are in a big scandal with because they are manipulating the youth, right? The kids, affecting
Yeah,
them.
all the
Um,
social dilemma.
so now we want to own our content and our digital version of ourselves, our digital self, right? This is what we want. This is what you want, actually. I want this because I'm more involved in IT, but people of my age, generation, millennials, basically, they most of them don't understand this. They have no clue what is going on, right? So let's go. Let's see. The thing here is this is how decentralization works. It basically there's a trend that is inevitable, right? We go from centralized systems, one app in one server, to decentralized systems where we have basically the same app copied in thousands and thousands of computers across the planet, right? And it talks to they talk to each other, so they share the database, the content, the information, and it's very redundant this way. Nobody can shut it down because if they shut down one or two of those computers, the network will still be running fine from all the other computers. You can still access the network, right? And this is what happens with a decentralized application. We make that application just like torrent works, torrent files, torrent protocol, right? When you want to get a file in a torrent, um, you basically access the list of computers available that have that piece of file, that copy, and you get the closest ones to you, and you get a list of them and how fast, right? And you get a small piece of that file from each of those computers, right? You don't get one the whole file from only one place, right? This is the decentralization, is splitting everything into multiple participants, multiple pieces across the planet, right? Instead of keeping, you see in this picture in the left, every user connects to the same server, to the same data center, right? This is not safe. This is old technology, the old way of doing things. This is a new way, right? And you're eliminating intermediaries at the business model, the business, right? Because look at these companies, for example, they are the biggest companies in the world for renting vehicles or places, right? But they don't own those vehicles or places, right? Like many other companies do, hotels or cab companies, or so they became biggest by decentralizing a partial part of uh, partially their business model, right? They didn't decentralize the data, that they didn't decentralize the, they still have a big fee for their service, right? uh, we can do much better than that, right? We talked about this issue with security with Scholl's algorithm, the good, a very good documentary that we should watch, everyone should watch on Netflix. It's 24 minutes. It reveals the secrets behind Facebook and all these other platforms, the bad things that they're doing, right? You should really watch it. I'm not going to talk about it right now. uh,
Yeah, the
Many
social
bots,
dilemma.
yeah, many bots on the internet, social media as well. They click on your ads, they scam you, they talk to you now with AI scamming you. And so I wanted to get to this part because I think this is important, because your question about decentralization and what is a decentralized application is exactly this. It has to abide by these three principles, right? It has to have decentralized code, so open source code where everyone can participate, not just one guy or one small team working in secret behind closed doors, and everything is secret. You don't know what we're doing there. We're doing bad things, we're doing good things, you don't know, right?
Yeah, and they own most of the wealth.
And they own everything, right? So that has to be transparent, like I'm doing in these live streams where I show the code. I'm actually coding live, right? So I'm showing the code. Decentralized infrastructure is, we're using blockchain, right? So we're using blockchain for the transactional part, for keeping, storing the value and transferring the value, right? So the blockchain does that without me paying anything really, right? Because it's so spread out to multiple participants. And so I have to pay just a small fee when I create those smart contracts, and then that's it. Decentralized business model, this is the important one that is very let's say not present in most businesses, and even in decentralized projects, decentralized applications, because they decentralized, basically some of them decentralized the code, made them open source, made the code open source. Some of them, most of them that are decentralized, I would say, use blockchain, so they do have sort of partial or fully decentralized infrastructure. But
Yeah,
they,
sorry. Remember when we talked about Binance, how they are partially
yeah, I
or
do. So
decentralized?
I was going to say about that. So decentralized business model, right? So this means that, like we're doing, for example, we want to share all the value that is generated by the network with the users. That's a decentralized business model. Even if you don't have it fully, let's say you have a 5% commission on everything. Okay, 95% decentralized. It's the business model, right? That means that the users get the value from the people that put value in the network, right? Not me, I get 5%. But for the beginning, we don't actually do that. We give 100% back to the users, and everything is decided by the community. We will have to get some small fees from the NFTs, from the markets, from somewhere, right? But that will be a very small fee compared to what we provide for the user, right? What we offer. So again, with the Binance and all the other exchanges have centralized systems, right? They created an exchange which is Pancake Swap. I don't know if it's fully. I don't think it's fully decentralized, but partially decentralized. And it's a place where actually people have created a lot of scam tokens and coins because it's decentralization brings with it some dangers, some things that we can avoid if we really think about it. But uh, anyone can create a coin now on one of these blockchains and list it on PancakeSwap or another decentralized exchange. Just create a website and start shilling and tricking people to invest in their project, right? And then they run with the money. So that's a bad thing. This is one of the reasons why we are struggling, and it's so hard to create awareness for these projects because nobody trusts crypto and blockchain anymore. It's because of people. Whenever a new technology comes up, they exploit it. The greedy ones want to exploit it, and later, much later, good use cases come along. Like when we discovered fire, we destroyed everything, we burned our enemies, and then we cooked with it. We discovered the sword, the knife, we killed everyone with it, and then we cooked with it. Right, useful stuff. So nowadays, you can buy a knife from a store, but everyone knows that, at least because we have laws and police and all that, everyone knows that you shouldn't kill people with a knife, and you should only use it for useful stuff, for cooking, for cutting things that are useful to provide some comfort. But you shouldn't do bad things with it. A knife is a technology. It's a simple technology, right? A simple process to create it. Most people would know how to create a knife, right? Or at least understand the process. But they don't kill with it, most of them, most of us. This is why society works, because we don't kill each other, right? With knives. And from a knife to artificial intelligence, from a knife to blockchain, it's the same process. The first thing that happens, people disrupt everything by exploiting it, right? It's the same thing with the pandemic, right? Because most doctors have no idea what a virus is. People could exploited us with these vaccines and everything, right? Selling the vaccines to everyone and making
Definitely.
all those billions off of our suffering, like big pharma is doing, right? So the point here and the takeaway is that these three principles have to guide a decentralized application if it's a true DApp, a true decentralized application, right? And eventually, the goal for us with freehumans.world is to create a 100% decentralized app, right? It's not going to happen from the mainnet. It's going to take a little while to work on the technology, but we do have the technology and we just have to develop with it. We have a couple of solutions for creating a true decentralized application.
Okay, so how is this how is this different from Facebook, for example? If I was if I was to compare it with an app like Facebook, what would you have to say
In what
to
regard are
explain?
you asking? Like, what is different? What the business model, the technical, the infrastructure? We talked covered these a little bit.
So in terms of the activity on the app, in terms of your activity, so if, for example, if I'm very active on Facebook, I don't get
Mhm.
anything. If I'm very active and I post daily and I talk to people, I can spend hours on messenger calls and I
Yeah,
don't get anything in return. More, they will stalk my data and they will stalk my pictures and my everything that I'm gonna share, personal stuff.
yeah.
Because
They use it. They have access to it and they own it. They own the rights to it, so they can do whatever they want with it. So yeah. So there are many differences. Like in that regard, we don't actually own the data. We let users decide if they want to make the IP, the intellectual property for the content, basically open source so that anyone can use it, right? Or they can decide that they keep the rights, right? So whenever you post something, you will be able to decide if the post, the creation, the post, the image, the text, if you have a text, a joke or something, anything, any piece of text, it's your intellectual property. You keep the rights if you want, right? Or you can make it open source so that everyone can remix it, reshare it, use it in some way, get inspired,
That's so cool.
All right, so there's options for that. You can make that available. That's one thing. The other thing is you said about like you're wasting time here, and actually that's a
Yeah, your
very. I
activity.
wanted to show you something which is you're not gonna believe this, but it's like it's crazy. So in the old wiper, in the first white paper, which is the overall mission in this white paper is still valid, but we have something, and I can search for it. Here on this page, I calculated basically, let's get a clearer picture of how much time humanity is spending, for example, on Facebook and getting no value in return, while Facebook reaps billions from advertising and selling their users' data or solutions from data derived from users. And we have this study, there's a lot of studies on this. Studies have shown that the average user spends 18 hours per month on Facebook. This increased during the so-called COVID pandemic to 65 minutes per day or 32.5 hours per month, right? An average. What does this mean? 65 minutes per day on average, multiplied by around 3 billion constantly active users, means that 3.2 billion hours spent by Facebook users daily on its platform or app are wasted. That's over 135 million days spent collectively on Facebook every day. That's 371,000 years daily that could be used to explore the universe, right? 3,700 centuries that our species is mostly wasting every 24 hours, every day.
My God.
And we have a video here that we can watch, and we can watch. Let's see like what a solution could look like to this, a different approach, right, to wasting time. Because here you're just wasting time. If you go to when Free Humans World will be launched, every second that you spend here earns you money because you
Will
find
be
new content to share. You find new people to connect to that will like your content. All right, so every second is valuable here. All right, let's watch this video. I'm gonna share the screen again because I didn't share with sound. And I'm gonna mute us for the video. Of course, there's a commercial. Let's watch.
Lumea gastronomică de pe Glovo cu promoții zilnice. Descarcă Glovo și comandă orice dorești.
Commercial to end. A nightmare. Another one. Look, it's worse than TV.
I want to be in the commercial free world.
What the hell, man? YouTube is now worse than TV. The commercials are more often than TV. Like, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
All right, so let me move this. I'm gonna full screen. I will pause the video if you want to say something, but let me just mute myself and you. And you
I don't see the video.
Right. You don't see the video? Sorry, wait 1 second. You don't see the video?
No.
That's weird. How about now?
It doesn't appear on the screen.
Right,
maybe screen share again.
All right, let me try screen sharing again.
Yeah.
You can see it now?
Yeah.
All right, let's play it.
How many of you have had to fill out some sort of web form where you've been asked to read a distorted sequence of characters like this? Yeah. How many of you found it really, really annoying? Okay, outstanding. So I invented that. Or I was one of the people who did it. That thing is called a CAPTCHA. And the reason is there is to make sure that you, the entity filling out the form, are actually a human and not some sort of computer program that was written to submit the form millions and millions of times. The reason it works is because humans, at least non-visually impaired humans, have no trouble reading these distorted squiggly characters, whereas computer programs simply can't do it as well yet. So for example, in the case of Ticketmaster, the reason you have to type these distorted characters is to prevent scalpers from writing a program that can buy millions of tickets two at a time. CAPTCHAs are used all over the internet, and since they're used so often, a lot of times the precise sequence of random characters that are shown to the user is not so fortunate.
Sare sau spor la curățare? Cu Rivex? Amândouă. Rivex. Faci curat automat.
Of course, there's the commercial.
So this is an example from the Yahoo registration page. The random characters that happen to be shown to the user were W-A-I-T, which of course spell a word. But the best part is the message that the Yahoo help desk got about 20 minutes later. This person... This person thought... This, of course, is not as bad as this person who... Okay, now, CAPTCHA project is something that we did here at Carnegie Mellon over 10 years ago, and it's been used everywhere. Let me now tell you about a project that we did a few years later, which is sort of the next evolution of CAPTCHAs, which is a project that we call reCAPTCHA, which is something that we started here at Carnegie Mellon, then we turned it into a startup company, and then about a year and a half ago, Google actually acquired this company. So let me tell you what this project started. Okay, so this project started from the following realization. It turns out that approximately 200 million CAPTCHAs are typed every day by people around the world. Okay? When I first heard this, I was quite proud of myself. I thought, look at the impact that my research has had. But then I started feeling bad. See, here's the thing. Each time you type a CAPTCHA, essentially, you waste 10 seconds of your time. And if you multiply that by 200 million, you get that humanity as a whole is wasting about 500,000 hours every day typing these annoying CAPTCHAs. So then I started feeling bad. And then I started thinking, well, of course, we can't just get rid of CAPTCHAs because the security of the web sort of depends on them. But then I started thinking, is there any way in which we can use this effort for something that is good for humanity? So, see, here's the thing. While you're typing a CAPTCHA, during those 10 seconds, your brain is doing something amazing. Your brain is doing something that computers cannot yet do. So can we get you to do useful work for those 10 seconds? Another way of putting it is there's some humongous problem that we cannot yet get computers to solve, but that somehow we can split into tiny 10-second chunks such that each time somebody solves a CAPTCHA, they solve a little bit of this problem. And the answer to that is yes, and this is what we're doing now. So what you may not know is that nowadays, while you're typing a CAPTCHA, not only are you authenticating yourself as a human, but in addition, you're actually helping us to digitize books. Okay, so let me explain how this works. So there's a lot of projects out there trying to digitize books. Google has one, the Internet Archive has one, Amazon now with the Kindle is trying to digitize books. Basically the way this works is you start with an old book, like a physical thing. You've seen those things, right? Like a book? Okay. So you start with a book and then you scan it. Now, scanning a book is like taking a digital photograph of every page of the book. It gives you an image for every page of the book. This is an image with text for every page of the book. The next step in the process is that the computer needs to be able to decipher all of the words in this image. That's done using a technology called OCR, for optical character recognition, which takes a picture of text and tries to figure out what the text is in there. Now, the problem is that OCR is not perfect, especially for older books where the ink has faded and the pages have turned yellow. OCR cannot recognize a lot of the words. For example, for things that were written more than 50 years ago, the computer cannot recognize about 30% of the words. So what we're doing now is we're taking all of the words that the computer cannot recognize, and we're getting people to read them for us while they're typing a CAPTCHA on the internet. Okay, so next time you type a CAPTCHA, these words that you're typing are actually words that are coming from books that are being digitized that the computer could not recognize. And now, the reason we have two words nowadays instead of one is because you see one of the words is a word that the system just got out of a book, it didn't know what it was, and it's going to present it to you. But since it doesn't know the answer for it, it cannot grade it for you. So what we do is we give you another word, one for which the system does know the answer. Okay, we don't tell you which one's which, and we say, please type both. And if you type the correct word for the one for which the system already knows the answer, it assumes you're human. And it also gets some confidence that you typed the other word correctly. And if we repeat this process to like 10 different people, and all of them agree on what the new word is, then we get one more word digitized accurately. So this is how the system works. And basically, since we released it about 3 or 4 years ago, a lot of websites have started switching from the old CAPTCHA, where people wasted the time, to the new CAPTCHA, where people are helping to digitize books. So for example, Ticketmaster, so every time you buy tickets on Ticketmaster, you help to digitize a book. Facebook, every time you add a friend or poke somebody, you help to digitize a book. Twitter, and about 350,000 other sites are all using reCAPTCHA. And in fact, the number of sites that are using reCAPTCHA is so high that the number of words that we're digitizing per day is really, really large. It's about 100 million a day, which is the equivalent of about 2.5 million books a year. And this is all being done one word at a time by just people typing CAPTCHAs on the internet. Okay, now, of course, since we're doing so many words per day, funny things can happen. And this is especially true because, see, now we're giving people 2 randomly chosen English words next.
So I just want to say that...
oh my God,
this is the exact thing that we can do, like, with people's time, right? create these sort of solutions where just a small piece of time you spend is valuable, right? So if we really work together, if we really create systems where we can help each other, it's really easy to do it today. But it's just that these old companies, like surveillance capitalism companies, they never wanted that. Their objective was profit, 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 no matter what it costs. Right?
Yeah. And
So
get rich
get rich, yeah.
for themselves.
Make our shareholders, right? With Mark Zuckerberg. So yeah, this is just one example of one guy, right, doing the inventor of CAPTCHA, reCAPTCHA, and all the other versions of reCAPTCHA, which you now have those images, for example, like they trained a lot of basically systems, machine learning systems, AIs, through that. People may not know this, but whenever you are asked, like for example, select all the bicycles, select all the motorcycles in this picture, or select all the traffic lights in this picture, right? You are pinpointing and you are accurately telling a system, okay, this is a object that is a traffic light, this is an object that is a motorcycle. So you're training systems to recognize visually, to recognize objects, right? And so we are doing that. We trained the AI by just whenever we signed up to a website or whatever, one of those captchas, authenticating to a website, right?
Now I understand.
Yeah. So it goes on to talk about, you can watch the rest of the video yourselves. It's called Massive Scale Online Collaboration, Louis von Ahn. And he talks about how he created Duolingo after this.
Oh God, I use Duolingo.
Yeah, he's the one that created Duolingo.
Okay, so I have two more questions. But I already have the answer to one of them, because you gave the answer in our conversation a few minutes ago. So I wanted to ask, how will Free Humans World exceed our expectations, knowing that this is not your usual type of platform or social media platform, as this one actually rewards you for content and activity. And you've actually explained, just before, when we were talking about the fact that you will actually gain rewards for your activity, not only waste your time and all these things. So thank you for giving me the answer in advance. But the other question, I've asked you this question before, actually, but I think it's a very important thing, because I would like to share this research that I've made, that you've made. I want to share the plan, the strategy of this platform to all of my friends from Gen Z, and ask more questions and gain more insight. And so to do that, I think it's very important, because if there is an audience of people who want to gain insight into the world of Free Humans World, or into the world of free humans mainly, what would they need to know to be able to understand in simple terms what this platform is all about? So you've shown that page before, where they can go and see the 9-12 years old simple explanation, or the advanced intellectual explanation. So can you link that in the bio for this live stream, or just link it in the bio anyway, so that I can share it, and so that other people can share it too and understand how to sign up. And also, something that's very important as well, that we've mentioned before, is that it's free to sign up. There's no fee. They don't have to pay money for it, and it's kind of first in, first served. But the
only
main thing,
for the initial distribution.
that's what I wanted to say. So only for the first 100
No,
people.
for the first 1.67 billion of users, they will get, if they come in the first day, they are among the 200 after that comes after the 100. So the first 100 invites two other people. That's 100 multiplied by 2. So that's the total of 300 users. And then they keep inviting two other people, and it grows exponentially until we distribute tokens initially to 1.67 billion users.
So yeah, so practically it's all free. There's no fees to sign up. There's no nothing, and it all depends on the first hundreds of people who
Yeah, it depends on the quality of.
invite the other people
Yeah, because we really
successfully.
have to. Yeah, because we really have to make sure that the first 100 people are, people that care about the project, that follow the project, and because they need to convince basically two other people to sign up, right? And not only they have to convince two other people to sign up, they will explain that the opportunity is okay. These two other people, let's say me and you are one of the first 100 users, okay? So I'm going to give example for us. We are one of the first 100 users. So we have to invite two other human beings. Otherwise, we don't get the reward, right? The 100K tokens, right? But the only way that these two other people that we invited get their reward, which is 50K, is that if they invite two other people as well. So they have to understand the process. They have to keep telling the people that they invite that they also have to invite two other people. That's it. It's not a multi-level marketing scheme where you have a network of people under you that keep have to making sales and all that. It's only one time.
Yeah.
Every user that signs up has to invite two people once. That's it. That's it. They don't have to invite any more people to get the initial bigger reward. After that, they can keep inviting people, but with only they only gain a few tokens per invited person, right? And the invited person also gains 5 tokens.
Yeah. So I think it's simple because, if people will follow this channel and they will subscribe, or they will, just follow the live stream, or be part of the live stream every day, they will gain specific information about, when it's going to start, when the exchange is going to be launched, everything. And they have to focus, and we have to focus on two main things, just to uh, uh, keep in touch with the live stream, and with the free, very valuable information that you are going to give, and we're going to ask, and to make sure they keep telling their friends and everyone they know about this project, and they insist on helping them sign up, because it's very important, because it's going to be a two-way street. So if it works for me, if it rewards me, it's going to reward you as well. So that's why I think it's so important to remember this, because it's going to be such a cool platform to earn from, and just to be in such a cool space to be in.
Yeah, I mean, like the main question that everyone will ask is one of the questions that you ask is how do you actually make value from this? How do you earn? How do you take out money to withdraw the value, right?
Yeah, because that's what we want to know. How do we
And the
make
answer is
money
very
out of it?
simple. It's very simple. It's from each other. It's from
From
each
each
other.
other,
We
exactly.
we share value from we share with everyone else. So if everyone shares with everyone else, sorry, if everyone keeps sharing, then the value of the network will grow exponentially, but will be uniformly distributed, right? And so instead of just getting nothing and being exploited, even though it may not be much for many users that are maybe not that active, they will still earn some couple of tokens that they will be able to sell on the exchange eventually, right? And so everyone earns by engaging with the platform. Every second you
Yeah,
spend is valuable.
as simple as that, just by engaging.
Yeah.
That's what I understood today. So you can earn simply by engaging in a
by doing
platform.
whatever you're doing currently on social
Yeah,
media, on
yeah,
Facebook and every other platform. You just posting, commenting, liking, sharing content. You're doing that for free and helping them, the platform, get more awareness, get more connected, more more people engaged, and
yeah, and
they're
nobody's paying you
exploiting
for
you.
that.
Yeah, they're exploiting you.
And more, if you want to make your content more visible, you have
Yeah,
to pay them
you can use the
more.
gratitude
Yeah,
tokens that you earned. You don't have to put euros or dollars into your campaigns to boost your post, to get more followers, to get more connections. You don't have to you can just engage with the platform, earn a bunch of tokens, and use those tokens to boost one of your posts, or more posts, right? And whenever you do that, there's a budget for people to, there's an incentive, there's a reason for people. Oh, this post have a budget for share to earn. Okay, let's click share. I click share, I get some of tokens, you get exposure to my connections, to my friends, right? They get the post.
even the name gratitude, it says it all.
It says it all, right?
It says
You're
it all, yeah.
grateful
As
because,
opposed to greed.
as opposed to greed, because
Yeah.
in a social context, whenever you share you're following an artist, you're consuming art, or someone that creates educational content or useful information or something, you appreciate that person, you want to support it, right? But there's no way currently on social media to do that, except those donations that you have to go through the banking system. You have to, it's very complicated, right? Not everyone can do that, and there's so many people in undeveloped countries that will never have a bank account, right, or credit card. So the thing that we want to wrap things up here is that I want to leave people with this concept, with this idea that it's called Free Humans World because in this platform you are free to do whatever you want, and while doing that you earn value, you share value and you earn value. So your presence in this network, it amplifies the power of the network. It amplifies your potential to earn from the network. And so whenever more people join, we become more empowered, more free. Because financial freedom and in general freedom comes if you have resources, if you have energy. If you have energy, you can create oasis in the desert. You can create agriculture in the desert on Mars if you have energy, right? Money, assets is energy. Why? Because we spend energy ourselves from our body, physically or mentally. We require energy basically to work at a job or to create a business. And so that value that we create, the profit that we make from others, which I don't like this word profit, right? But the value that we gain from others is only created when we put our own energy at work, right? If we don't use our own resource, our own energy to go to the job or to support the business that we have, nothing is created, right? And so in Facebook, in all these Web2 platforms, you're wasting your energy every day, your time and energy. And in this platform, you become free because the energy is shared among the network, and the network grows more powerful, and you share more with others, you gain more with others, right? So I think that's if you don't have any other questions, we can end this
Yeah, that's a very
epic
nice way
live
to
stream.
end this live stream. I have many other questions, but I'm gonna try to ask them in the next live stream.
Mhm.
And I'm looking forward to hear more and more about
Mhm.
this project because I like it very much. And I feel like, because I'm a resourceful person, I feel like this is the kind of project that um, I was always dreaming of. Not dreaming of having, but dreaming to be a part of, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just doing the right thing. If
Yeah,
your
for
intentions
humanity.
are pure and you want to help people, you can do it. So I'm just using my experience as a developer, 20 years of experience as a web developer, 16 years of career with companies small and big, including IBM. And so I have a lot of experience as a full stack developer. I understand these technologies. I'm trying to combine blockchain and AI and into this DApp to basically empower each other. So decentralization, of everything will make us richer, more powerful, and more free. So freedom is what we're all looking for.
It's a very complex world, and it's good that human science met IT.
I mean, it's scientific, yeah, because I do have a scientific approach to things with those simulations and everything. I try to do tests and experiments to see how it works out. I'm not taking it by let's Google tokenomics pizza from Google Images and use that 20% team, 20% marketing. That's Ponzi scheme. That's a scam right there, right? They haven't spent even 1 hour into what tokenomics is. So in the next live stream, maybe we can talk about examples of this new Web3 world, like Stepan, the app, which I'm
Yeah.
using to support myself to earn some coins every day.
It's a cool one.
Stepan is a niche, a limited one, not compared to what we're doing. It's more general, universal. Everyone can use it. But Stepan is for people that want to run, jog, walk, movement. So I think that's a wrap. Until next time.
Until next time.
Cheers, guys.
It was a pleasure.